What's up everybody, how you doing? MDW here, and today is the big one. I finally got my hands on the man with the Infinity Gauntlet. So straight out new from Hot Toys, I've got the Thanos figure. I'm going to open up. I've literally tried to put him back in his box when I first got him out to have a look at him. And this guy is so heavy that he's actually disintegrating the box that he's in. So for rule one, once you take him out of the box, it literally warps everything when you put him back in. And it's an absolute nightmare, but here we go. He looks absolutely superb. He's 17 inches tall, and it's a brand new sculpt, everything. Let's have a look at him. Okay guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. So I thought I'd get this review out as quick as I can. I've literally only had this guy a few hours. But I wanted to share my thoughts of him straight away, and obviously you guys want to have a look at him because this guy is literally hot off the press. I've seen some promotional shots of him and stuff, but not super amount of reviews going around for him just yet, so I thought I'd get in there while I could. So the sleeve box is a standard Marvel kind of Hot Toys design, so it's got the sleeve that goes over it, picture of Thanos on the front there. It looks more kind of comic booky than the actual film version. It doesn't look like him, but you know, they've kind of done a little bit here with the eyes and all this kind of stuff, so you know, it added a little bit more of a twist to it. And he's obviously got the Infinity Gauntlet there, Thanos, the Avengers symbol, and then obviously details of the figure on the back. Then when you slide that off, you are presented with this huge figure. Look at the size of that, absolutely massive. Look at me holding it there, I'm about 5'10", 5'11", so you know, that is literally a big toy. You've got the Infinity Gauntlet on the side, obviously name Thanos at the top, and then obviously black back there with the Avengers logo on it. And then let's literally pull this guy out. Now you've got to be really careful with this guy because literally the tray that he rests in cannot handle the weight of the figure, so it literally starts buckling as soon as you take it out. If you're not careful, you can crack it and do all sorts of damage to the tray if you want to ever resell it or move it on anywhere. So there we go. And it comes with the clear plastic packaging on the top layer, and then get this for you guys up without damaging everything in the world. There we go. There is Thanos in all his glory. But I say I can't really kind of show anything closer than that because it's just so heavy. So let's get in and have a closer look at the figure. Okay, everybody, that's better now. Sitting down, nice. So yeah, I can actually show you the figure and display him properly. So he is a beast. He rocks in around about 17 inches, just under 17 inches I believe. I think that's what it said on the website there, and he is obviously a lot bigger. I took him out and compared him to a couple of other figures, and he does tower over them. Nice big heavy figure, really bulky sculpt. You know, it feels really stable. You know, it doesn't feel too flimsy at all. So yeah, he comes packaged classic kind of bit of protection around his facial area, but let's pull him out here. So usually, you know guys, in my reviews I do a little kind of close-up review, but I think Thanos deserves a bit more of a special treatment. So there he is in all his glory. Let's move this over to the side there. Okay. The tray's like literally falling apart, it just cannot handle anything. Okay, so there's quite a few accessories. It comes with a backdrop, I believe, as well, that you can display on the figure. I think that's the kind of heavy thing that's buckling this. But anyway, let's have a look at the man himself. So I'm going to do some close-ups in a second. I'm going to do like my usual close-up review of the skin, the paint job, all this kind of stuff there. But I thought you guys just would like to see it kind of on my desk there. I can even bring it in next to my premium format kind of Green Goblin. So I mean, you know, the Green Goblin is really tall. The Green Goblin is kind of over, kind of 18, 19 inches. Tall, so obviously he's just not short that. He's like up to the knee of the Green Goblin now. That is a big statue I've got. So let's move that back over there. So yeah, there you go. Look nice. Really cool. Take the bag off his head. And yeah, there we go. Let's have a closer look at the figure now. So I'm going to switch around so you can actually see the figure in all its detail. Okay guys, welcome back. So here he is, Thanos, the man himself, ready for a closer look. So I picked up Thanos, literally Infinity War was my favourite film of last year. Even because I'm a massive Star Wars fan, Solo came out, but Infinity War was the film. And mainly for me, this guy made the film. So they've done a really great job. I mean, Josh Brolin was great playing him, but also, the actual directors and producers, everything like that, all the screenwriters, and always came up with such a great character for Thanos, because obviously we've been waiting a long time to see him on the screen. And he had so much humanity added to him, and some of the shots they did with him and Gamora, Nebula, and him finding Gamora on her planet and explaining why he wants the Infinity Stones and all this kind of stuff really did add massive depth to the character. And he wasn't a CGI kind of typical, villain. We watched like Justice League, Steppenwolf. Literally, Steppenwolf comes down, and it's a really over the top fight, and all this kind of stuff. There's just no depth to the character. Here, they knocked it out of the park. Thanos is a really believable baddie, and you feel sorry for him at certain points. You feel, like connected to him as a character. He's so good, so good. So that's why I decided to pick Thanos up. So let's run down articulation on him. Now, Thanos does not have much articulation at all. He's a very big figure, like I said, but he hasn't got much movement. Now, I don't know whether Hot Toys have had massive issues suddenly with people breaking their figures and blaming them, or sending them back faulty when there's nothing wrong with them, it's just the customers have done it. But now in the instruction manuals, which I'll show you in a bit, Thanos comes with literally like suggestions of how to pose him, and also like the actual angles that the figure is able to pose and bend to before it becomes a bit dodgy. So they've added that to their instruction manuals as well now. So his head literally is on a ball joint, because you can obviously detach the head, so it literally swivels from left and right. It goes down a little bit and up a tiny bit. That's about as much as you're going to get off it, literally there and there. So it looks left and right, but the additional head sculpt, which I'll show you in a second, is really excellent. His arms are on ball joints, so they literally have been told in instructions they go all the way around 360 degrees. They go up probably about that far. That's about as much as you want. That cracking sound there, don't worry yourself, that I was actually like that when that first happened, but my Spider-Man figure did the same thing. It's just literally the joints cracking into position, so literally put those back down by his side. Then he has got, you guys can wait this out if I kind of zoom in a little bit, move my camera down, zoom in. So his skin has not got any kind of breaks in it, if you can see on the surface here. So usually with their hands, you can see that there's like a little break there where the hand comes off and detaches. There is nothing like that. This is literally all kind of plastic. You guys can see there. So it kind of has it's a flexible plastic over the buck, the design of the arm. And he literally allows for a little bit of movement. So you guys can see that's just very flexible, but at the same time though, obviously you get some nasty folds in it. So look, that looks pretty bad. I can imagine if you keep it like that for a long time, that will mark. So you can't really move him that much up, pose him like that with his arm closed. You generally, perhaps, I don't know, like, well, it's the angle in the book, isn't it? It's probably like that is as much as you can get, and even then that looks a bit dodgy. So you can play that around and mould with it. So his arms can move, but not very much. Just below the bicep there, that is it. Pretty much just you're going to get out the arms and click them back. The hands are detachable, so you can move them and they swivel 360 degree around like the standard Hot Toys do. His torso doesn't really have much of a turn. You can turn him a little bit, you can hear a click, so there is a little bit of a waist swivel. Wouldn't recommend it though, it doesn't really do much for the figure's display. Doesn't really turn him that much, just there's a really scary click instead. There's no crunch really, because his armour piece here is just moulded plastic and it doesn't really move. Then we've got down the legs. There's a bit more movement on his legs because he's got the material trousers. So you can turn his legs a tiny bit there, just at the quads. Turn back like that, and then his legs do move up again with a clicking sound. That is probably about as far as you're going to get his legs to go. And again, in the manual it says don't really kind of pose him anything further than that. And then he's got a bend at the knee as well, which is literally about that. That is pretty much as much you're going to get out of it, and I would not recommend doing anything further than that. Put that back in place there. His boot kind of swivels a little bit. This is like a separate piece of plastic, and then obviously the actual shoe itself, kind of you have a little bit of a crunch, goes up, there, down, doesn't really swivel though again, so very, very static. But let's say he's a massive, really heavy figure. I think it probably would be quite bad if you can move it all over the place and put it at strange angles, his feet, because the weight of the figure might buckle it. Perhaps that's why they've done it, because he needs to be really sturdy where he is just so heavy. Then the other side of his hand, let's have a quick look at the Infinity Gauntlet. So again, the Infinity Gauntlet swivels there, and then there's a little bit of movement on the wrists, kind of goes around a little bit, and then the fingers all have movement on them, so that's quite a nice little touch. So it's got the movement there, so you can bend each finger if you want to have more of a kind of pose. There's like he's using the Infinity Gauntlet. But yeah, there's a separate hand that you get with Thanos as well, which has got the clenched fist. So I wouldn't try clenching this fist, obviously you'll probably break it. This is just kind of more when he's standing there resting, or his, his hands just open, not in battle. But yeah, there we go. So let's have a little look at the detail of Thanos. Okay guys, so let's move down and have a look at the rest of the body now. So he's not wearing the gold set of armour like he does at the start of Infinity War. It's just kind of after that throughout the whole of the film. But I'm assuming we've started seeing package shots now of Endgame, and it looks like he's got his gold armour back in that. So all of this is kind of sculpted plastic on. Very nice, looks really good. You've got black shoulder pads there, contrasted by the gold trim around the outside here, which is really nice. The detail is really well picked out on it with the gold, and then there's shading inside all the kind of gold panels here to really kind of add a bit of depth to it. There's a bit of weathering in the centre here, so yeah, it's really cool, looks nice. Then his chest piece here is the blue, dark blue. Again, you guys can see it's picked out with kind of a lighter shade of blue around the black lines here made out, so it just adds a bit more kind of definition to it, which I like. And then the gold belt, again same as the top bit of his armour. And his trousers are grey material, which are cool. Again, they've got this like really elaborate stitching on them, which looks nice. Again, breaks up the whole of the gold bits, and then the boots are two separate pieces again, like I said earlier. So this one here is say got a bit of swivel up plastic again. This is all one piece, even like the knee pad is, and then the boots are all done. This is like a brown colour again with a bit of gold in. It's more like a brass colour, his knee pads, not as gold. So yeah, brassy colour, and you guys can see on the boots there as well, brass on the actual ends of his boots there, a little bit, on the where the laces should be. But again, not much detail on that. That's kind of like a dark brown colour there. It looks like a dry brush of light brown that's been picked up over the little bits here to just give a bit of detail, and then obviously the blue as well to match his chest piece there. God, even holding this figure up is doing my arm in. He's literally, I don't know how much he weighs. I'll have to have a look and see what the actual weight of him is, but Christ, yeah, holding him up for a while. And then let's have a look at the Infinity Gauntlet again. So I showed you it just a second ago. Let's pull him up here. Now, this is incredible. The detail. Let's put the camera down a bit on that. Look at that. Absolutely superb. I mean, the light's picking up really nicely. The gold is the same colour as kind of around the top bits of his armour and around his chest plate. It's a bit weathered. It's got like a little bit of kind of brown weathering on it here. The stones, obviously the Infinity Stones, are all picked out in there as well. The one on his thumb at the top, just swivel that around there, so the time stone at the top there. Again, really nice. Every detail that you can imagine has been picked out. So yeah, that's really excellent. I do love the Infinity Gauntlet. So I'll quickly show you the battery compartment. So the Infinity Gauntlet that he comes pre-standard with in the box, the battery compartment is actually on the gauntlet here. So you literally pop this little panel off to start off with. You're like a bit scared to start off with. There we go. And then literally the batteries go in this little compartment here. You have to literally get a tiny screwdriver you've ever seen in your whole life and open that up. And then obviously the on and off switch is there for the Infinity Stones to light up. The batteries are in there for mine, so I will take some pictures in a second for you with the light out. But yeah, it looks really cool when you actually turn it on. Okay, so like all Conquerors of Worlds, Thanos comes with a couple of accessories. Now obviously he only wields really the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's super strong anyway within the film, so you don't really get kind of any weapons as per se. So these are the batteries that come in, so you take 3 little mini batteries in each one of the Infinity Gauntlet. So his spare arm has a battery compartment in as well, so they come in the pack with it. You get some spare hands. So obviously the hand that hasn't got the Infinity Gauntlet on, so you've got the clenched fist there, and then you've got the open hand. It's really cool, they are huge hands. And then spare head with his not very pleased face. So that's really cool. The teeth detail on it is superb as well, really nicely picked out. And so he's got the eyes really well done again on it. It's such a great head sculpt. Both of them are really, really nicely well done. So there we go. You get spare head. And then the spare arm with the Infinity Gauntlet on. Now this arm is literally made, stuck this way here. So you've got just a bicep. You can twist the arm around a little bit there, so you can move it around if you want to open this panel up to get the batteries in. And then obviously the wrist kind of swivels a little bit, yeah, a tiny, oh, it goes up and down, there we go, yeah, so it doesn't swivel, it just goes up and down there. But the hand is closed with this one here, but you know, that's really cool if you want to pose him using the gauntlet, activate his powers, or just giving someone a bunch of 5s. But yeah, again, this bit here, guys, doesn't move at all, so there's no movement on this arm. You literally just pop this into a shoulder, and then that's pretty much most of the posability you're going to get out of that arm. But it's another option though, and then say the detail on the Infinity Gauntlet is superb, just like the other one. So Thanos also comes with the biggest base I've ever seen. Probably obviously I haven't had many of the bigger figures from Hot Toys, so probably the Incredible Hulk perhaps comes with a base this size. Absolutely huge. It's got 2 designs on it, so it's got this kind of rock design at the top that you can either have that to display him on, or if you take that off, and then that's the one that all the other we've seen on all the other figures there, so the Infinity Wars logo, and then obviously the Infinity Gauntlet, its name at the front, and then obviously at the back of it here, so we've got the little hole that puts in the stand to display him on, to hold him in place, sorry. So this one here is like a clear rod that literally just pops in the back there, which I'll do in a second and show you guys, and then there is literally another clip on the top that you get, the first part of the box here, that goes on the top of this, so it holds Thanos in place so he doesn't fall over and break, and obviously displays really well with the rest of your collection. So you also get a set of instructions that comes with Thanos as well. So you pop those open, and this is where you get all the information about the actual movement of the figure and all the other bits and pieces about where to put the batteries and all this kind of stuff. So picture of him there tells you about the interchangeable heads, the interchangeable arms, the batteries, his hands, and then the other side there, so the arm movement, 70 degrees, 45 degrees, 70 degrees, the legs there, and then obviously how to assemble the base, and obviously just a warning about the skin again, you know, return the arms to natural position to avoid material damage, and then how to do assembly the backdrop as well. And guys, so also he comes with this backdrop with him, so this is made of card. You know, it's quite really thick, so that's probably what adds a lot of weight to the box there. And literally, I think this just fits around the base. You put the base down the floor, and then I think this kind of folds under the base and goes around. So it's like a, you know, like three walls for each side of the base, just to give a bit of narrative to the figure if you wanted to display in that way as well. So I'll quickly show you how to swap out all the bits and pieces on Thanos. So do not be scared. His arm literally comes out of the socket, so you guys can see there. It's actually got some lubrication on it, so it comes out quite nicely. And you can see there is a hole there where the socket just literally goes in. You twist it a couple of times and it sits in there nicely. It's not that scary, but it does look it. And then the same as all other Hot Toys figures there, you literally detach the hand by just giving it a little swivel there. And there's the ball joint, and you literally just pop the other hand on and squeeze it into place. His head, again, is a really kind of nervous moment. You first pull it. I find if you tilt the head back a little bit and then kind of just put some pressure on it and squeeze it, the head comes off. It actually goes back on absolutely fine, and the movement is still great when you put the head on, so no issues there. So there we go, guys. There is a look at the latest Hot Toys figure of Thanos from Infinity War. This is like any other figure I've ever had from Hot Toys before. He's, like I said, really, really big, really heavy, really bulky. The face sculpt on him is superb. Like I said, it is one of the best face sculpts I've come across, literally from Hot Toys. They really have picked out Thanos' features, and Josh Brolin, kind of all of it is in there. The eyes are really well done. The skin and the paint job is really good quality. I like the idea that they haven't actually got the kind of the breaks in the skin, so that it actually gives the flow kind of look of the arm, rather than having it broken up with like loads of twisty bits. So I really like that about it. The detail on the Infinity Gauntlet was spot on as well, and the metal, it's not really kind of vac metal, it's just off vac metal. The metal and the whole suit has all been picked out, and the paint apps, I can't really fault them at all. The only thing perhaps I'm not too sure about is where his arms meet his torso there. You guys can see in a photo in a second there, the kind of arms, yeah, you can see there on that photo there, where his tunic is, or his top body armour, the arms kind of have a big gap in between where they sit in the ball joints there. So, you know, I haven't really got a problem with it, but sometimes if you don't position him correctly, this kind of looks like he's got this giant hole in his shoulder, or, you know, like a big gap where his shoulder meets his body. The lighting up effect of the Infinity Gauntlet is really good. It's not too bright, like sort of like the kind of like the Emperor's chair, where it's just literally like blinding when you turn it on. So yeah, that's really good that it does that. I say overall the figure, in my opinion, is awesome. So he's starting to hit eBay and websites now. He is quite a high priced figure, so I'll leave it up to you guys whether you think he's worth picking up or not. If you guys are interested in getting Thanos as a figure, I'm actually selling my one of Thanos, my figure of Thanos, as I haven't got enough room to literally store all these figures at the moment. So I'll have to pick up again later on. But if you are interested in purchasing Thanos from me, please direct message me on here and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. MDW signing off.
Find MDW on Facebook and Instagram now at MDW_toys.